Yo, what is up, everybody? How's it going? How are you? This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by My Song of the Day 2000 to today. Welcome you to podcast episode number 21. Wow, I'm at 21 episodes deep. Damn! Alrighty, well, actually don't have a guest for you guys this week. This is a solo one for me, so you're just going to hear me babble on and ramble on about stuff, and maybe kind of Bill Burr style, but I'm not nearly that funny, so you get what you get. But had a rather crazy, weekend and a little bit of a week to talk about, and some new music as well. New music, yay! Alrighty, well, let's just get into it first, but let's get into the shameless plugs, because, well, I gotta plug some stuff too. If I had ads, this is where they'd be. If I don't have ads, so we're just gonna plug all our own stuff. So, you're gonna end up plugging the My Song of the Day stuff, the My Song of the Day project, the best rock community on the internet. We got a podcast here with the Chord Progression Podcast that you're listening to, so make sure you're subscribed on Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or Google Play, or, check us out on YouTube too, because we put all the podcast episodes there as well. Every single Tuesday the podcast comes out, but we got a lot more stuff too. So we've also got our Facebook page, because, you gotta have a Facebook page. Facebook runs everything. You run all the put the ads over there, run a lot of that through that, and you're just gonna always get updates on the Song of the Day stuff. That's a lot of the big stuff, so go to Facebook for that. For Twitter, yes, we have a Twitter page. And what you want to do with the Twitter page is that's where we connect with you guys, just straight up, talk about music, see what your thoughts are, see what your hot takes are. Hot takes, not hot cakes. God, now I'm getting hungry. But, yeah, so check us out there. Also check us out on Instagram, or Exchangegram, as Vince Vaughn called it in 2013's The Internship with Owen Wilson. Oh, man. Wow. I can't believe I actually said that. But we do a lot on Instagram. We put out all the Song of the Day stuff. We ask you guys questions. We try and connect with you guys as well. Along with, we do some video stuff on there too, such as our IGTV videos, which come out every single Tuesday. Yeah, sometimes Wednesday, depending upon what the other part is, because, that happens. And what we do for that is we go behind the scenes. We give you behind the scenes look at what's going on with us, and we take it from there. Also, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central, we do our live streams. But, if you listen to this podcast on the release date of July 2nd, we're going to be doing the live stream tonight at 9 p.m. Central, because Wednesday is July 3rd. I want to watch some fireworks, guys. Or maybe not. I don't know. But if there's special times, I'll always let you guys know, always on every single platform, especially on Instagram as well, kind of what's going on. And, yeah, I love you guys on Instagram. We're still over 2,000 followers strong. The engagement is going up, and I'm loving it. Loving talking to you guys, and we're going to keep that up. Also, check us out on YouTube. Wait, did I say YouTube? I said YouTube. Because we have videos every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. They come out, and we do a bunch of different stuff, like band reviews. Let's take a look at a band's whole entire discography and all their stuff that they've done in their career, and we'll take it from there. We'll also do stuff like, Kevin Reacts, my own top 10. Let's see, what else have we done? We ask questions, answer them, and also we do album reviews on their whole albums. And the second half of the year, my God, do we have a lot of album reviews coming up, especially in August. So looking forward to that as well. So check us out on YouTube. Again, links for all this stuff in the description below. I know I didn't say that, but links for all this stuff in the description below. Also, last and most importantly, make sure you're enabling our Alexa skill on your Amazon Alexa device. Now, why am I saying it that weird? Because I have it plugged in here in my bedroom, because this is still grassroots operation, yo. So I have it plugged in here, and I do not want to trip her right now. So all you have to do for us is, go to the description for the podcast, click on the Amazon Alexa skill stuff, enable the skill on your Alexa device. She's not turning on. And then to get going, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play my song of the day. And Alexa will say, playing your song of the day. And you'll get a 5-second intro from myself.
Playing your song of the day.
See, she's doing it.
It's Monday, July 1st, and let's get...
And you can hear it. Oh, my God. Alexa, stop. So you can see, you get that 5-second intro from me, and then we'll go full on into the song. Now, why am I not playing on here? Because my licensing covers the skill. It does not cover the podcast yet. Important thing is yet. So we'll take it from there. And also, it's a great way to find out about, new bands you don't know about, rediscover bands you forgot about, listen to a great song, and, just go through the rest of your day. Great way to wake up in the morning, middle of the day, great way to get through that, or, to go to bed, whatever. And then the next day, boom, new song all over the place. And you get to listen to it as many times as you want during the day. That's the great part about it, and it's free! So go check all that stuff out, description below for every single thing of that. Now, before I get into the crazy week that was, well, not really, but kind of, if you are a returning listener, I want to give you a big thank you for coming back and thank you for being a valued, and I mean valued, valued listener, valued follower, I was like camaraderie, but it's a value fan, I guess. I mean, I love the fact that you guys are checking out all this stuff and really being a part of this community. I love the fact that you are really driving the growth here with the engagement. I'm a huge fan of it, and I want to say thank you. If this is your first time listening, welcome, because I love you guys. I love the fact you're here. Now, let's get into it. Right now, here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's freaking hot, and that means summer's here. I have no air conditioning in my apartment right now. So I'm sitting here recording this episode sweating. I mean, I've got frozen vegetables on my back and on my legs just to try and stay cool throughout this whole entire thing. But let's face it, they're not going to stay long, and I'm just going to end up going, this is freaking hot. It's hot and humid, and the humidity sticks in here. That's just what happens. So, and the creaking, that's my chair. So hopefully they'll kind of go through that. But with it being summer here in Milwaukee, especially, we just got through the end of June. That meant that Summerfest, the world's largest, or I think the U.S.'s largest music festival, I don't know, probably U.S.'s largest music festival. I think Rock am Ring is still bigger than us. Oh, well, I don't know, but I know we have a huge music festival, runs 11 days, and we just got through the first half of them. Today, when the podcast comes out on July 2nd, that's a Tuesday, that's when the second half starts, and let's take a look at the first half of the whole entire thing. Why not? Because that's basically what happened in music. So I went 2 days, but I'm going to talk about 3 days specifically. So I'm going to talk about opening day. Opening day was Wednesday, the 26th of June. Yeah, 26th of June. Now, taking a look at the lineup for that day, it was a lot of country, a lot of alt rock, and a lot of pop. I think Steve Aoki was there, so it's like all the kids are like, "Oh my God, the DJ's here!" They like, "I gotta get front row, and maybe I'll get cake in my face." Oh my God! Ugh. Being those 16-year-olds just running around, just crazy. And I felt like the crotchety old man because when I was 16, I basically went there super early to go see a show. Of course, it was Rise Against, but I felt like it was, warranted. Had to go see Rise Against. You have to. You just have to. But enough of that. So I basically went with a company outing with the full-time job that I have. And we went there. I mean, it was hot. It was muggy. I go there. Everyone's, dressed up like, we're dressed up with work, except for we got this nice stuff on so we look corporate and classy. Me, I've got one of my Rise Against t-shirts on and shorts and a hat. And I'm just like, whatever. Walking around just, getting the lay of the land again, just enjoying it. And just I'm just enjoying not being in work right now. All of a sudden, of course, coming up, we got to do a team building exercise, which of course, I'm like, great, team building exercise. And it's, okay, you have 10 people on your team. Find the people that have the exact same sunglasses that you do. And I'm just like, oh God, this is going to be bad. So we get together and it ends up being, a lot of people that, don't really want to leave the little pavilion area because it's hot and we don't know what we have to do. And all of a sudden they say, okay, elect one person from your team to be the runner. And I thought, shit, that's going to be me. So, of course, I'm the runner here for this Summerfest gig. And I'm like, okay, so what do I have to do? Okay, you have to call your teammates back there, and you have to, here's an envelope with money, and you have to get all 7 items. Okay, you have to get all 7 items and then return, and the team that, gets all 7 items in return wins. They win a special prize. I'm just like, okay, so this is going to suck because it's hot out. I'm going running right after this, and I got to run beforehand. Great. So this was all the crap I had to buy at Summerfest. If this doesn't perfectly explain a music festival, but a music festival in Milwaukee, I don't know what does. So here are the 7 things I had to get. And I had to bring them back, sometimes in piece, sometimes I could bring them back together. But I think I was going to make 2 trips, I believe. Yeah, I was going to make 2 trips. And I had to get, the first thing I had to get was a magnet from the gift shop. It was like a Summerfest magnet, vinyl looking album. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Why not? Second thing I had to get was a corn on the cob. It's like, okay, I have to bring a corn on the cob back and the magnet back. And they said, yeah, and you have to buy 2 beers. Okay, so that's just straight Milwaukee right there. I'm like, okay. I quickly bring it back, and then they give me the 4 other things I need. I'm like, okay, what else do I need? I need to buy, or I need to get this, like, it's like a tent that had this, like, it's the scent, or like the cologne or perfume, and it's a scent for your own zodiac sign, so smell your zodiac sign, everybody! Oh, I went all, like, B-52s there, like, if you see a faded sign at the side of the road. My God, I'm really turning to my freaking dad. Okay, so the 4 things I had to get were the zodiac sign card that, like, you could scratch and sniff and, like, smell your scent. Then I had to get a company promotional item from one of the companies I was out there. A picture with a tractor or a lawnmower, which I knew where that was. And then I had to buy a toe ring. I'm like, okay. So I'm running around. I get the zodiac sign thing. Then I go to the toe ring lady. And there's one person from me. I'm like, ma'am, can I just please go? I'm here for a company, like, sponsored scavenger hunting. I just need to buy a toe ring. And they were not having it. So I had to wait like 6-7 minutes just to get a toe ring. Now I'm running back. I get this CBS stress ball. Looked like a baseball because they're doing something for the, like, sports coverage stuff. And I was taking a picture with the tractor. All of a sudden my phone rang. Hello. Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble, Kevin, but someone just got back and they just won. And I just finished and I was on my back. I was going to be back in 20 seconds. If it wasn't for the toe ring, people. Ugh. So, and that's always what happens when it comes to corporate events at, like, those music festivals. They just do, like, this scavenger hunt. And it's okay at times, but I'm not necessarily that big into it. The first time I had a company event, we went down there, we listened to music, and we drank. Now, that was fun. I had an internship for that one. But, didn't get hired on to that company. What you gonna do? But now we're here, and this is gonna be our full-time gig. So then Thursday, there was a huge talk about Summerfest with, I know I had a special episode regarding this one artist's tweet, and it was Lizzo. It was, never listened to her music, but she was going off about, if you have, I don't care about your opinion, which I agree, don't, you take your opinion, it's, it's like people are going to, like, try and bring you down. Just, remember who you are and just, like, don't let other people's opinions affect you. But she was saying, like, people not taking people's opinions in on her music. Then you get to get a glimpse of what people are really thinking about your music. And it's just, if you're going to shut that off, that's just not good. I mean, you're basically alienating your audience. But I digress. Now, there was another tweet thing that happened, but I'm just not going to get into that because it's an open, ongoing thing, and I really just don't feel like getting into it. But the big reason I want to talk about is because apparently they were talking about at Summerfest, oh my God, this is going to be like the biggest crowd ever. This is going to rival when Imagine Dragons was on a free stage in 2013. Now, I was at that Imagine Dragons show. They had an EDM act on the stage right next to us. You could not move. There had to be over 100,000 people on the grounds that day. Or maybe 50. I don't know, however many they could hold, but it was freaking packed. It was like a can of sardines in there. If you listened to the podcast last week, my buddy Chris, because I went with him to that show, he talked about it and I set my story straight, actually, why him and his girlfriend left, because he got punched in the face. And, well, that's what happened. So it was huge and very crowded. And they were like, oh, is Lizzo going to break that? I said, no, Lizzo's not going to break that. She might have a crowd sizable to what Imagine Dragons had, but the reason why that whole entire day is not going to be broken is due to the fact that there is not a supporting act on a stage right next to her that's going to pack it just as much. So, I can't remember who was on the stage next. I don't even remember who it was, but it just wasn't necessarily that good of an artist, or that popular of an artist. I don't know. I mean, just some music that I wasn't really into. On Friday night, oddly enough, I'm not sure if you guys really care about this, even though it's not rock music, but The Lonely Island, the Saturday Night Live guys of Andy Samberg and his 2 friends, cannot remember their names at this point, but they actually performed live. I did not go to the show. I was downtown drinking. But a lot of people were like, oh my God, they had T-Pain come out and Jose Canseco, and they did a lot of, pop show stuff, which is actually kind of their stick. But I got to talk about Saturday so much more, because I went on Saturday. My main reason for going Saturday, if you checked out my Instagram, if you checked out, not my Instagram page, if you checked out the My Song of the Day Instagram page, you will see posts from Saturday night's concerts. Because I saw Silverstein, they opened up for August Burns Red, and you bet I saw August Burns Red. Now, to give you some of the context, I knew a couple people that were going down to the show, so of course I put it on Facebook for my friends. Hey, who's going to see August Burns Red tonight? Had a couple like people saying me. So I'm like, okay, I'll let you know when I get down there. I'm driving around somewhere just to try and beat the heat, honestly, and I get a call from one of my friends up in Minnesota. Minnesota! And he's like, hey, bud, are you still planning on going to see August Burns Red? I said, hell yeah. Okay, that's enough. I'm driving from Minneapolis down to Milwaukee. I was shocked. was not sure if this guy was going to end up pulling it off, but let's just say this. He fucking did, and I saw both shows with him. It was fantastic. I found him like 2 minutes before Silverstein went on. So we're on the right side of the stage during Silverstein, and he tells me that his two friends are on the left side of the stage, right up against the rail, just off from the bleachers. Now, remember the bleachers because I'll get into that later. But basically for all stages, they have these bleachers that are right in front of the stage. So when the shows are going on, people are standing on top of the bleachers, and there's really no room to move around. That's important. So we're on the side of the stage during Silverstein. There's a couple people trying to start a little bit of a mosh pit behind us, but it's just not working. Just not working very well. And Silverstein, I gotta say, they put on a good show. If you looked at the content for it, I was kind of off to the side, and it's not the kind of content I usually want to get. I usually more of a get towards where the mosh pit is, because it's usually in the middle, and I can usually get some great videos off that and some great stuff off of it. But this was something that I was not going to be expecting. All of a sudden, Silverstein ends, people are starting to come out a little bit, and all of a sudden they're like, dude, we got a lot of room in the front row. I'm like, wait, front row for August Burns Red? And I got here like an hour and a half ago? Hell yeah, let's go. So there's me and my buddy and his two friends. We're just like, I was trying to do the fluffy dough, but that's not going to work because I can't do sound effects. So we got up to the front row, and between where the barricade in the front row and where the benches start, I mean, we have metal bleachers that just stand there. It's about 6 feet wide, or maybe not even that, not even 6 feet wide, because I could probably like 5 or 4 feet wide, honestly. It was not a lot of space to get in. And the bleachers are split down the middle too, so security can get through. And by the time, we're kind of getting there, one of my friends, I tell her, hey, we're up front for August Burns Red, so this is going to be awesome. She comes to join us, and, we're waiting. They're watching some fireworks. They put off fireworks again, and once August Burns Red started, I was not on the bleachers. I was in that little, 4-foot area with two of my friends. One of the girls that came, one of my friends, that is consequently a girl, was standing in the bleachers with one of my other buddy's friends, who was consequently a girl, and we were down below, and we were kind of, getting in. You could tell there was something starting, especially with August Burns Red. I mean, full-on metalcore going absolutely nuts. That's when the thinnest mosh pit I've ever been a part of started, because it was all the way along the guardrail for the stage and the bleachers, and it went all the way to the middle and then out. And then on the other side, they had the exact same thing going on, because I had a buddy that was over there. It was one of the most dangerous mosh pits I've ever been in, because people kept getting knocked over the bleachers, because the bleachers, they go up to my knee basically, and I kept getting hit and I kept getting knocked over them. And I was getting a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little bit scared, just because if I take a knock and all of a sudden my foot's down, I start going over and my knee ends up hitting the bleacher and my foot doesn't pick up, that's a torn ACL, MCL right there. Maybe LCL, because I was actually on the outside of the foot. I'm not sure, I don't know medical terms. But it was just getting so rambunctious. And it was getting dangerous, but it was dangerously fun. However, this could have been solved a lot better had those benches not been there, because we would have had so much more room, and it would have been so much safer, honestly, just because people wouldn't be flying over benches. Now, this is where this gets holistically interesting, because it's been going on for about a half hour, and we've had complaints about the benches from the fans, from the bands that are playing there. They can't stand these benches because people can't mosh, basically. So the people on the other side of the stage basically said, enough is enough. We're going to take matters into our own hands. Now, if you take a look at my Instagram page, you will see the picture. If you're watching the preview video, it's going to come up for you. Basically, what they did was they picked up one of the rows of benches and they flipped it. And I mean full-on flipped it to the point where it was standing up right. So people had more room to mosh. Now, they had maybe 6 security guards total on staff for this concert. This is Summerfest. You've got Bon Iver playing at the amphitheater with a lot more security, where people are not going to get rowdy. on a stage next to us, you got Third Eye Blind, where people are really kind of enjoying the show, mellowing out, having a good time. Then you got us with August Burns Red, and you're going to give us the minimum amount of security for something like this? They scrambled. I mean, absolutely scrambled to try and get this huge, giant set of bleachers back down on the ground. And we saw that, and we're like, we want to do that too on our side because it was getting so dangerous. So we tried picking up the bleachers as well, and we're like, you know what, we gotta get rid of these. So we tried picking up, but that security got to us right away. No one got taken out of there. No one got arrested. It's just security got there to put the benches down and keep them down. And again, it did suck, in my opinion, just because people were getting knocked over the benches. But the people that were going to stand in that first row, they ended up jumping down. So the people that were getting knocked over, they just kept pushing them back. So, you know, the metalcore community kind of created a rather, you know, safe way to forego the bleachers. But again, it wasn't very safe due to the fact that we had no room to do that. We literally had no room up front. Once the benches got up and they were on the one side and trying to come down, the lead singer of August Burns Red, why is his name escaping me? Because I got to look this up before I do this. Burns Red. Yeah, I'm actually looking up, you know, on my computer now, Wikipedia style, because I actually can find it real quick. So who's on lead vocals right now? Jake Lurs. Yeah, so Jake Lurs, I mean, he was, like, impressed by it. But, of course, someone at Summerfest said, you got to tell him to comment. He said, I love the enthusiasm. I love the honor of what you guys have done. But can we please keep the benches down for everyone's safety? Now, none of us at that show, none of us wanted to put those benches down. But we had to. Security was there, and they upped the security detail 5 times the size. So there were so many people up front, and then we had people crowd surfing. August Burns Red actually kind of mellowed down the show right up until about their encore came on. And that's when they went absolutely hard. And people were going nuts once again. I was hoping that the benches were going to fly back up, but of course they didn't. You know, it happens. Shit happens. What are you going to do about it? After the show was over, everyone was sweaty. Jake was just the sweatiest guy out there. You could tell he was dripping sweat from his shirt. It would look like one of my shirts after workout where you could literally take it, wring it out, and you could just see the water and all the sweat drip off of it. One of the I love seeing artists do this move. I know I mentioned this when I saw it In This Moment because Maria Brink did this. What Jake ended up doing was he jumped off the stage on the left side of the stage where I was, and in the front row, he was coming up and shaking everybody's hand and having like a quick 15-second conversation with them. And I saw that, I'm like, well, I gotta get in on this. And Jay came up to me, shook his hand, he's like, hey man, I hope you enjoyed the show. I said, hey man, it was a killer show. He said, you guys were freaking animals, you know, in that pit. I'm like, they gotta get rid of the bleachers. He said, I know, they gotta get rid of the bleachers. And he went to the next person, and the next person next to me was a smaller female, and he was like, you fucking held your own. I'm fucking impressed. Loved it. Just loved the move. Now, will August Burns Red ever get invited back to Summerfest after the bench tip? Who knows? Will Summerfest bring back metalcore acts or heavy metal acts or metal acts or hard rock acts after something like this? I mean, there's probably been worse. There's probably been worse stuff that happens. But one thing that Summerfest definitely has to address in the future going next year is when you bring these bands, the people are going to mosh. That is going to be given. They're going to mosh. So they're going to want to figure out how to stop that. The thing is you're not. But what you can do is you can give us a space to do it in. Because what's going to happen is you give us that dedicated space to mosh in, then you're going to end up making it safer for us because we're going to have the space to really move around a little bit more. We're going to have to worry about tripping over benches. And when people get way too rowdy or people are getting way too dangerous, again, you've got everyone kind of concentrated you've got everyone kind of like set in a little area so security can kind of monitor it. But again, rules of the pit. If someone's getting way too freaking rowdy, the likelihood that someone in the pit is going to deliver justice, much like a NHL enforcer or a hockey enforcer, it's gonna happen. Kind of police yourselves in there. It's kind of cool. But all you guys know about that, especially if you're listening because you're all big metalheads, hard rock fans, metalcore fans. Love it. Absolutely love it. So August Burns Red, was it the best concert I've ever seen at Summerfest? No. Was it the craziest concert I've ever seen at Summerfest? Yep. just because it was ridiculous. I'm pretty sure the best concert I've ever seen at Summerfest still holds true with Rise Against in 2016. Now, on that day as well, on Saturday, I noticed something because they have the who's going to be playing at that stage the next day kind of rolling through. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, they got the Reverend Horton Heat. That's pretty cool. Who's the headliner? 3 Doors Down. Alrighty. But then I saw who was opening for him, and not going to lie, I felt kind of slighted. Reason being, let me explain. So, I saw who was going to be the opener for 3 Doors Down, and it was going to be New Year's Day. Now, you guys have heard me talk about New Year's Day before with Anthony and Evie. We went through Unbreakable. We did the whole entire album review on that. I've done the album review on YouTube. We've talked about the album a good deal back in late April, early May. However, the reason I feel slighted was because I was supposed to go see them in Madison, Wisconsin in a week and a half. I believe on Friday the 12th. Friday the 12th? Yeah, Friday, July 12th. And I was excited for it because I'm like, they're going to open. It's going to be great. They're not going to open. They're going to be the headliner. It's going to be great. And all of a sudden, they canceled. And I felt slighted because I'm like, come on. Like, this is like the second or third time they've done this in Wisconsin. And they end up going on tour with Godsmack. They're going to open for Godsmack throughout the rest of the summer, pretty much. And I felt kind of slighted. But then I saw that they were going to be in Milwaukee. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I really felt kind of slighted just because the fact of the matter was had a set date to go see him, and all of a sudden now they were the late addition to Summerfest, and I couldn't go see him. Like, come on. Will I hold it against them, though? I've been saying, I'm kind of mad. I, feel a little slighted. I'm not going to hold it against them because I know they're just doing what's best for the band and just trying to grow the band the best way they can. And I do respect it, so I can't be too mad about it. If the thing I'm a little bit hesitant about is just because, this is the second or third time they've done this to the area and not too happy with that. So that's just the way it is, honestly. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that move, but I totally understand it. And I did have the chance to go and see them on Sunday night, and I just didn't. Reason being is because I decided to go and eat dinner with my parents. That's pretty much all I decided to do. Plus, I've got only one other free ticket for Summerfest, and looking at the days and who's going to be there, I am saving it for Saturday, July 6th, because I do want to go see Skillet once again. Had a conversation with somebody, he's like, oh, is everyone back there? And I basically kind of gave him the breakdown of what happened with Skillet. And he's like, okay, everyone's back. Can I go see that show? I'm like, if you want to come back to Milwaukee. I think I got a couple people that want to go see that too. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what happens. They play in Wisconsin a lot due to the fact that they are based in Wisconsin, and it's kind of cool. I just wish Summerfest would get some more hard rock bands and some more metal bands because the fans can go nuts. But then again, I know they don't. I know they're probably hesitant to. I have talked about it before. I understand the move. I am not going against them being like, "Oh, you are horrible." I understand the move from a business perspective. However, if you bring in these same amount of metal acts that you are, but you just kind of give us the dedicated space to mosh and just do what we want, it's gonna be perfect. All you have to do is get rid of those front row benches. That's all you got to do on both sides. Take care of it. Done. Just done. Because there's going to be a lot of people that just kind of want to watch the show. They can stand on the bleachers in the back, and then the mosh pit is right in front of them. And the people that are going to be in that first row, the best thing, they're probably not even going to have to worry about getting hit into all the time, because if you kind of open up that first row of their first 3 rows of benches, you basically take that all out. You take out that space. You take out that room, and now you have more space to work with, and then people on the edge can just be pushing them in instead of being on the benches. It works. We've seen it happen at the rave, and I cannot wait to go back to the rave for shows. Just because, again, huge open ballroom, best place to go see a show. I freaking love it. That or the Aragon in Chicago. Man, I love that. Alrighty, so again, next week, hopefully I'll have a guest, but I'll definitely do a second half of Summerfest review and just see what happens there. But what else happened in the world of music this week? Well, we talked about it a little bit, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit last week, but I know I talked about the fact that Alter Bridge, Miles Kennedy, Mark Tremonti, and the guys, they're coming out with a new album on October 18th called Walk the Sky. Now, this album already definitely has a Category 1 in the year-end stuff. Best album artwork. The Walk the Sky album artwork is phenomenal. just a beauty of an album the way it looks. But if you're gonna have a full beauty of an album, it can't just be about what it looks like on the inside. On the outside. It's got to be what the content is on the inside. Now they announced about 2.5 weeks ago. I believe they announced it right before Sleeping with Sirens, or right after Sleeping with Sirens came out with their song or their single. I can't remember when it happened though. But they announced the album, but I've been waiting. I'm like, when we get that first single, we got it, and it's called "Wouldn't You Rather." So I've been listening to it a lot today, just to try and get the full feel of it. And first day I listened to it was right when I was going to work. Put it on, listen to it, and the beginning hooked me right away. And it was because it had this little bit of, a heavier, faster pace, and those heavier guitar riffs from Mark Tremonti just started out very well, and I was very enjoyed by it. I really liked it, and I'm like, okay, this is the beginning of a good tune. Then the verses came in with Miles Kennedy singing, and I'm all here for honesty, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to lie, the vocals in the verses threw me off and made it feel like that the verses were just not well constructed in terms of vocal pattern. Now, I'll get to the content of the song later, but in terms of vocal pattern, I just really wasn't a fan of it. It just felt misplaced. It just didn't seem like it was right there. It just seemed like didn't belong in that song. I felt like the vocal pattern should have been done a little bit differently. I just don't know how it was, but then I digress. Now, the chorus, it kind of mellows out the heaviness a little bit of the beginning of the song and the instrumentation, especially driven off of those riffs by Mark Tremonti. However, I really like what they did with that chorus. It just gives it that great alter bridge feel where I like what they did with all the experimentation on this one, where they went heavier, and what they tried to do with the vocal pattern, even though I'm not a big fan of what they did with the vocal pattern. The chorus really brought it all together. Now, the solo that Mark Tremonti did, it fits so well with that instrumentation. That was a fantastic job on this one. So overall, in terms of song construction, song composition, let me give you my review, just 30-second review of Wouldn't You Rather. Begins great with guitar riffs from Mark Tremonti. It's a little bit heavier, and I really do like that. When we get into the verses, it just feels a little bit off just because of the construction of the vocal pattern from Miles Kennedy. It just seems a little bit out of place. However, that's completely changed up and brought back in the chorus because it kind of brings down that heaviness a little bit, makes it more melodic, and I'm a big fan of what Miles Kennedy's vocal pattern is on that. Also, the way Mark Tremonti's solo is very well done with the instrumentation, and I like it overall, except for that one aspect that kind of draws me out of it. Now, in terms of that, do I think this is a great move by the band? Yes, I do think they're doing a great job with this, and I hope to see what they can do more in the future along with the rest of the album. So, overall, music-wise, the first song, I'm into it. There's just parts I would change about it, but overall, I do think it's a good song, and I do think it's a great intro into Walk the Sky. Now, let's take a look at the meaning of the song, because I kind of got it right away, but then I was scouring the lyrics a little bit, scouring interpretation of it from other people, what they said, scouring the music video, trying to really get a grasp of it, and I felt like what I thought right away was definitely what they were going for. So, looking at what it's talking about, the song is called Wouldn't You Rather. So it's, wouldn't you rather do one thing or the other thing? So it's asking you a question to pick between two things. And it's asking you basically, what would you rather do? Would you rather really live for yourself, follow your heart? Would you rather do what you want to do? Or would you rather do what you think other people want you to do? And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of people out there that are really just doing things just because they think that's what's going to make, other people are going to see them, and that's what they want to see. So they kind of are, fronting, we'll put it that way. It's like the people that, just graduate college and with their they start making money and they buy a BMW because they want to look cool. They want to get the girls, they want to do this, they want to do that, and they want to look good, but they're not living for themselves, they're living for other people. And they're trying to impress people they don't like. I mean, well, why would you do that? I'm just going straight Gary Vee on this one because I agree. And this song really does put it out there too. It's would you rather be comfortable living with what you want to do, or would you rather, live with what everybody else wants you to do, but be seen in a better light by those people? Now, me personally, I would much rather go with the first one, where it's living and doing what you want to do and not really caring what other people think you should do, and kind of also use that as fuel and motivation to go forward with it, because that's just fantastic. I love it. I've talked about it beforehand in the podcast. I was depressed at one point, like horribly depressed at one point. And I still kind of, I still will sometimes get some feelings like that here and there, but I kind of welcome that at times. And the reason I do that is because it makes me remember how bad I once was, and how where I'm going right now is completely changing that and completely taking me in a 180 direction and making me go towards, what is going to make me happy. You know what makes me happy? Talking about music on a podcast, shooting YouTube videos and talking about music there, talking music with you guys, just, creating one hell of a community for rock music fans. And not just rock music fans, I'm talking metal fans too, anyone within the rock and metal genre. I love you guys. I love talking to you because you guys love all this kind of music. Sure, we might not agree on bands, but I love hearing about it. I love hearing your takes, and I love to give you my takes. And I want them to be honest, and because the best part about it is I love getting the context behind why you guys like the bands you like. And I'm talking to all of you, all you guys, all you girls, everybody. Basically, the reason behind that is I'm very curious. And then the fact of the matter is, instead of saying, I like this band, why do you like this band? Because they're good. It's like, well, why do you think they're good? Or it's like, and it's like kind of just, something I get that. But then sometimes I get really deep into it with some people. It's like, oh, I really like this song. I think it's the best. And I might be, thinking that's one of the worst songs on the album. And I'll say, well, why do you think that song is the best song in the album? Because I'm not that big on that song. Say I'm bigger on one that goes harder and faster. And I get a response saying, well, I really like the song because it really connects with me. It makes me remember about a time with, someone that had passed away, or a time in my life where I was really down, but now I'm beyond that, and it's, it makes me feel strong again. And I look at that and I'm like, well, I can't argue that point because I can see the emotional connection that you have to this song. And I love talking about it because I love getting that perspective. And I love seeing how people interpret music in their own way. It's fantastic to see because it's allowing me to get to know some of these bands, getting a deeper appreciation for certain bands and their songwriting process and the songs and what these bands have gone through, along with the fact that people have gone through the same stuff I have. Sometimes even worse, actually a good amount of times even worse. Sometimes nowhere near as bad. It just happens. But I love talking to people. I love talking to you guys. I love hearing your stories. And I love creating a community where we can all feel that our opinions, we can put our opinions out there and we can have discussions about them. And if people are going to get mean with them, then you just go right back at them. I don't care. Just go right back at them. Defend your position. If they're going to attack you, then they're probably more insecure anyway. I know some people just, try and get a rise out of you, but it's just kind of that old bully adage. I mentioned it before. I was bullied as a kid at times, and it just, I wish I would have had like that, confidence in myself just to go right back at him. Just be like, hey, just go back at him and fight him. I actually did fight him once. But that was a little bit of a scuffle that got broken up right away. It wasn't until one of my good friends from grade school just clocked him in the face. That pretty much shut him up right then and there. That was good. But I'm going to just jump back into wouldn't you rather. So again, it poses the question, wouldn't you rather live for yourself or live the way others want you to live? And you should always live for yourself. You should always focus on, you should always look and make sure you know what makes you happy. It could honestly be being, looking like me. I'm happy talking music with everybody. I'm happy doing all this stuff. I really found what I love. When it comes to other people, some people love, I know a few friends that like sports and they're really into it and they started a podcast. I was on that for a little bit, but I ended up dropping out because I wanted to do this so much more. Even during that podcast, I was working on stuff for this because, you gotta be efficient. I know they love that too, and that's what's making them happy, and I'm glad they're still doing it. I'm really glad they're still doing it. I know people that are just, kind of nomading through life even. They're happy with doing that. And it makes me happy that they're doing that too because that's what they want to do. Or people that, they're literally living like what the American dream has set out. It's like, oh, bought a house, getting married, having kids, steady job, white picket fence kind of life. But if that's what they want, that's what makes them happy, and that's what then living their true selves is. Yeah, you gotta be a fan of that. You have to be a fan of that, and I'm so supportive of that crap. Just because, it's not crap. I'm so supportive of that greatness. Just because when people are truly happy, everyone gets along so much better, and it creates a better place for everybody. So yeah, wouldn't you rather live for yourself? Wouldn't you rather do that instead of doing maybe what you're doing? So if you're kind of at a crossroads right now, listen to this song and really take it in. I mean, man, now I'm talking more and more about this. It's that vocal pattern in the verses that I really wasn't a fan of. It's starting to be overshadowed a little bit by the message because I really think the songwriting style of Miles Kennedy on this one really put it out well. And my phone went buzz. I'm just getting messages up the butt right now, but oh well, we'll take a look at them after the podcast because this has got to get out for you guys to listen to, and I love that you guys are listening to this. Trying to think of some other things. Anything else going on in the world of music? Not really up in there. Other music festivals and stuff. I love still trying to get to might go try and get to Louder Than Life as from the last podcast. Riot Fest, Rock USA again for one day. Hopefully he's gonna see Disturbed again because I love seeing Disturbed. And then I said Riot Fest, Louder Than Life, and then some cool shows that are coming by me. I mean, I know you guys know I'm seeing Evanescence and Vice and Men. The Rave where I usually go see concerts. They announced like 5 shows last week. And I was looking, I'm like, okay, one was like, it's like, okay, pop, rap, something, Pennywise, and Anti-Flag? Okay, I gotta go to that show. So there's shows I want to go to like that, and then there's other shows like, I know Alter Bridge and Skillet are doing a little bit of a North American tour in September and October. And I looked at where they're showing up by me, and the best place I would go for that one would be Chicago. I believe it's in mid-October. And I'd like to go to that, but there's a couple of reasons why the reason I want to is because I want to see Alter Bridge play live. I saw Tremonti play live. I've seen Skillet play live. I want to see Alter Bridge. But the biggest issue I have with this is the show is at the Chicago Theater. Now, I've seen a show at the Chicago Theater already this year when Rise Against their Ghost Note Symphonies tour, and it was perfect for the Chicago Theater. But Skillet and Alter Bridge for a show that I would want to go see, I'd rather see them at like the Aragon in Chicago than I'd rather see them at the Chicago Theater. However, I got to pick and choose my battles too because I do want to see Alter Bridge live. That might also be a monetary thing too, monetary restrictions because sometimes, these concerts cost some money. But we'll see what happens. Otherwise, yeah. Hope you guys like me ranting a little bit about Summerfest and the benches and a little bit about life, honestly, with that new Alter Bridge song. Man, I'm liking that more and more. Yikes. Well, I kind of feeling a little bit out of it, too, because it's freaking hot, guys. I'm sweating. Well, not nearly as much as I was sweating earlier in the gym, but it's like I'm sweating just sitting here. My legs are all full of sweat. The frozen vegetables are not doing the trick right now because they're starting to lose some of their coolness. And I'm starting to get a little heated. So, yeah, this is going to be a short one for you guys today. So, when it's summer, when it's hot, and I don't have a guest, I do still ramble sometimes. But it's just a little bit shorter than the rest. But one other update I'm going to have for you guys is I'm definitely going to start looking into when it comes to putting these out on YouTube. I know I just put out the audio. But what would you guys think if I put out the whole video of me just talking? But then again, it's kind of tough because I don't think you guys want to see a video of me just spewing off by myself. Or when I'm interviewing people, it's like they're on the phone, but I don't think you guys want to listen to that or hear that. I think you guys want to listen to it. If I get a one-on-one, actually with somebody to interview them, yeah, definitely I'm going to want to record that. And I got to figure out how because when I record the ads for this or kind of the previews for this, I should say, and I also run ads off of, The biggest issue I have with that is I can only do them in like 30-minute segments. And I'm not going to pause the podcast just to go over to my camera and be like, okay, re-record, let's keep going to the next one. No. So I was not going to do that. Next week for next week's show, we're going to definitely dive into the second half of Summerfest. And maybe I'll try and get someone else from Milwaukee on there who's going to Summerfest, and we'll try and talk about that as well. Otherwise, we're going to still try and get more bands. We'll try and get more friends, actually, because I like talking to friends as well. And because those episodes are freaking awesome. I love talking to you guys about that stuff. I love talking to you guys. I know there's someone that I know saw our podcast last week. It was like, this is freaking awesome. I love you guys. I'm like, well, thank you, sir, because, well, I love having you as a fan. And I mentioned, I'm like, I love to talk music, because we were talking music over, just Instagram. I'm like, I love talking music with you, man. Maybe we can get you on the show and actually have a one-on-one conversation, because I can have a one-on-one conversation for a half hour, for an hour. With my buddy Chris, we went 2.5, and I think I'm going to have Chris be my resident guy for the year shows. It's like halfway through the year, we're going to take halfway through the year, and then we're going to review the whole year at the end of the year. So I'm thinking about bringing him on for that, and maybe we'll do that one live. I'm hoping him and I can do a literal live one from Louder Than Life if I get the chance to go with them. If hopefully someone on their bus kind of doesn't backs out and I can take that spot. Because I'll bring the mixer, I'll bring my computer, I'll bring my mics, I'll bring it all. And I think you guys are going to love it. So we'll see what happens there. But I want to say, again, thank you for, joining me. Again, thank you for letting me grace your ears on this Tuesday. I love the fact you guys are supporting me. I am big on this. I cannot say thank you enough. I cannot. Yes, cannot thank you enough, because this is just, this is the best thing I do during the day. Honestly, I wake up this is where my week is. I wake up in the morning, I go to my full-time job for 9 hours, then I go to the gym because I got to get up moving, and that's my time to myself. But then when I get back home and after I eat, I'm like, I am so ingrained in this, and I'm so excited to do this stuff that I just cannot stop, and I love doing it. This is my passion, this is my dream, and I want to thank you for being a part of this, especially from the get-go. And I just got to say it, I love you guys. So thanks for listening once again to the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2008, or brought to you by me, Kevin. Hey, Kevin! Ah! Wait, I just did the Home Alone thing. Well, for all of you who hate my bad comedy, you guys are probably going to eviscerate me in the comments somewhere. So have at it, I guess, because I'm not, Joe Rogan material or Bill Burr material, because I'm Kevin material. Woo! Alrighty, so that's going to be it for us this week. Come back next week. Maybe we'll have a special one. Who knows? Hopefully trying to get some more bands on the podcast. Because I love talking bands. I love talking to you guys as well. So let's get more interviews going. More interviews. Yeah! Alrighty, well, I'm going to sign off on this one. This is Kevin from let me scratch that. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2000 to today. And you guys know how I end all my podcasts. And no, I'm not doing the half flip with the headphones on, but I will give you a see ya. My voice cracked.